Hey yo, thanks for tuning in to Celebs Source, your source for celeb news. Now today we got nothing but this story on T.I. and Tiny. Now this whole thing is an alleged incident, okay? There's been no official accusations or anything of the sort. This is all an alleged story from one side of the story. Now your boy has found himself in a bit of a pickle. We dropped the story yesterday, or it might have been the day before. Yes, I don't remember what day it was, okay? Where a young lady by the name of Sabrina Patterson came forth, and Shorty was talking. Her and Tiny were going back and forth, exchanging jabs at each other. Shorty was saying things along the lines of, how could T.I. possibly assist us in any way when he does violence to women and stuff like that. But it was all a strange kind of tweet, and I don't know where it came from, right? Now, we didn't want to really run with that one too hard, because that type of violence we kind of want to stay away from even dropping unless folks have receipts on it, okay? And of course, this young lady came through with the shoebox of receipts. And I'm going to tell you right now, it ain't a good look, okay? Shorty broke her silence, saying that T.I. is a bit of a villain, but he was also aided by none other than his lady. Now, Shorty has an Instagram called, The Glam University. And what has happened is on this website, she compiled the stories of the abuse on her Instagram story from 15 different women on some Bill Cosby type ish, talking about they coming forward with alleged trafficking of women and minors and all kinds of insanity. All right. And she posted this all on her Instagram account, and she added the DMs and the stories from these women. Okay. This one, now we're going to go through the tweets, and I mean, this is all kind of crazy. It says here, blank with them too, and they were going to cancel my plane ticket if I didn't. This is coming from one of the young ladies, allegedly, right? Cancel, and I'm saying allegedly not to diminish what these women are actually saying, but everybody's innocent until proven guilty. So at this point, it's one person's word against another person. All right. And so far, we just getting the first side of it. And on this particular side, we have one of the young ladies that said, blank with them too, and they were going to cancel my plane ticket if I didn't do Molly. And Tiny was the one that always called me. So she's the ringleader. She's a worse abuser than Tip. I also woke up one morning next to their friends they travel with. I don't have a memory of it, but I was naked on my back. And when I put my head up, I was between his friends and his friend's wife. So they passed me off to them at some point in the night. And she puts a crying emoji. Oh, and I've seen Tiny do coke and take Molly. She's the worst one out of the two, if you ask me. I hope they get into legal trouble. Now, the person that was on the receiving end of this DM said, yo, that's crazy. You said that because that's the basis of the documentary. There's so many men that are abusers and manipulators, but none ever have a female co-conspirator. Somebody else came through and said, oh, okay, but yeah, I was around them for about 2 years. I seen it all. Wow. Are you traumatized by it? I knew this was going to eventually happen, and I'm honestly glad you're doing it. I'm assuming that's referring to the documentary. I've witnessed so much crazy-ish things that have scarred me. I have neurological issues from the heavy Molly use while around them. Will you interview for the documentary? It's all with no faces. What you're doing will save someone's life. Yes, I will, anonymously, but I can't ever have them find out it was me. So these cats are running around here talking about who the ringleader is and all kinds of strange stuff that's going on, okay? The person said, yo, I'm going to keep your secret. I got you. And then the young lady came back and said he referred to the girls as his cattle. I have so many stories. Whenever you need me, you let me know. appears that another person came through and said, yes, it is true. Years ago, Tiny and T.I. kicked in my next door neighbor's door and beat and kidnapped her husband. We found her kids in the closet. The police was called. We gave a statement that stated his name and a guy that was from the apartment's name. Quick. It was like 3 o'clock in the evening. 3 o'clock ain't the evening, sis, but we'll keep it going. So we could see him clear as day. These people still suffer to this day. You could post my DM. I am not afraid. It's the truth. I don't know what he gave them. They left for a few months and came back and moved again. She returned at least 3 times before she never did. Okay? Now, these are all part of the receipts. I'm still scrolling. Another person says, T.I. was enjoying me too much. When I defended myself against her, T.I. jumped in and punched me in my face and choked me out. When I threatened to tell because I was young, stupid, I told too much of my business, it was used against me. I was told, if you tell B, we know people, you and whoever in your family will be deported because I had no papers. At the time, immigrant. After that, I returned to my cousin's house, packed my ish, left Atlanta, never spoke to my cousin again because I was afraid to tell anyone, came back to New York, changed my life, and just pretended it never happened. Who gonna believe me that I had a threesome with Tiny and T.I.? Tiny was too high, got jealous and attacked me, and when I defended myself, T.I. jumped in, helped her attack me. When I was threatened to the point I was in fear, I left Atlanta, never looked back. P.S. My cousin still lives near them. Somebody else came through. I'm shocked I'm still reading this, y'all. Sabrina, please be careful. You aren't lying about that man or T.I. or Tiny. I know because my friend used to strip and fly here from time to time. Tiny and, I get this thing mixed up. T.I. and Tiny were her regular. Here go the reading deficiencies. Here it come. Please be careful. You aren't lying about that man or Tiny. I know because my friend used to strip and fly here from time to time. T.I. and Tiny, you see, I'm still struggling, right? Were her regulars. One day I went to their house and he wouldn't let me in unless I took an X pill. So he gave my friend and I a pill and soda. We spit it back in the sodas and pretended to take them. We all had sex. But Tiny invited Blank the rapper over and a couple of other celebrities. Who is that? I don't know. But anyway, let me keep going. He paid us $3,000 a piece and I never went back. He becomes a different person during sex and Tiny is the leader. It's weird. Exposing the devil is gonna be dangerous. Here's the thing about a state, like that whole thing. It's not the Blank the rapper. We don't know who that is, right? Because I'm sure there's mad the rappers, right? But when this person said Tiny is the leader and then they ended it with, it's weird. It's something about that little it's weird that gets me, that makes me like, yo, man, people don't really talk like that if they're making something up. But I'm not going to sit here and say the whole joint is real because I'm only hearing one side. And it ain't right to just rock with the one side if that's all you ever heard. Okay? Now, apparently this thing has been running around. Like this information has been flying around. We've been kind of watching it and seeing how the whole joint was going to bubble out. Okay? And the internet has already been all the buzz about this. Well, you probably don't know, but I mean, a lot of y'all might know. Okay? One person came through and said, I absolutely, undoubtedly believe every GD thing being said about Tiny and T.I. 110%, and I am floored by the bravery of these people speaking out about it. Somebody else, her name is Outshare. She said, T.I. and Tiny have been drugging underage girls and taking advantage of them. Ellipsis. Then she says, his hymen check couldn't get more creepier, but here the F we are. And it made me, I had to go to my peoples, and I was like, wait, he was the one doing the hymen checks? I thought it was somebody else. My peoples was like, yeah, he was the one. Anyway, let me keep it going. Another person by the name of Jade said, crazy part about this T.I. Tiny situation is that they aren't the only ones. Watch how fast the universe reveals all that is involved. It makes me think of that whole, what's the dude's name? Epstein? Or is it Weinstein? Oh, both of the Steens. Somebody else came through and said, yo, these T.I. and Tiny stories are giving off Surviving R. Kelly vibes. That ain't no good. Hey, yo, I just read, look, I've been talking about one story for 9 minutes and 45 seconds approximately right about now. This is crazy. Now, we have yet to hear from T.I. and Tiny. We have not heard anything about these alleged accusations. And I'm saying alleged until y'all can prove it. Because DMs, I could DM my friend and say, yo, I was with them too. I remember I saw it. And it not be real. You see what I'm saying? So, we can't just run with just this particular side of the story. We got to see how the rest of the joint plays out. But I wanted to make sure we drop this information to you so you kind of have a little bit of an idea of what's bubbling in the news. All right? Yo. Be sure to like the channel, man. We drop content like this every day if you're not aware. Be sure to like, be sure to subscribe, man. Thank you for tuning in to Celebs Source, your source for celeb news.